Hey everybody, it's Jack. We are back at the Hoboken Fire Museum for another story time. And once again, we have a different look today at this 1932 Arons Fox fire engine. It's Hoboken Engine Company number 5, because as we've talked about before, every fire truck everywhere has a number on it, and this one is number 5. And happy to be here again with Bob, who is the king of the Hoboken Historical Museum, and I have a great fire story for you today. It's an old fire story, but I think you'll enjoy it. All right, so this fire truck is from 1932. This book is from 1938. It's called The Little Fireman. And look at the words are by Margaret Wise Brown, but the pictures are by esphyr slobodkina. There's all sorts of great names out there. And look, this came from the library. This came from the Little Ferry, New Jersey library. So we thank them for sending us this old book. But all the pictures in here and all the words are from 1938. So that's kind of cool. That's, how old is that? Probably your great-grandparents were born then. And we see the Little Fireman. And there's a truck. And who's that? Do we remember who that is? And little houses all in a row. Dun, dun, dun. Once upon a time, there was a great big tall fireman. And once upon a time, there was a little fireman. They lived in 2 firehouses right next door to each other. Here's the big one. There's the little one. And one fireman had a big black and white Dalmatian puppy dog who ran behind his fire engine to the fires. And the other fireman had a very little black and white Dalmatian puppy dog who ran to the fires right behind his little fire engine. So do you remember that the dogs are called Dalmatians with black and white spots? Now, one night, the 2 firemen were sleeping in their firehouses. Now, we've talked about this before, where they would, just like in this old firehouse that the museum is in, upstairs, they sleep. And then there's a pole that they can slide down to get to the fire truck. So the 2 firemen were sleeping, and the Dalmatian puppy dogs were sleeping under the fire engines. Uh-oh, what happened next? Oh, mio, mio, oh! Clang, clang went the loud ringing noise of the fire gong in the big firehouse. And cling went the little ringing noise of the fire gong in the little fireman's house. And wow, 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 barked the big Dalmatian dog. And yip, 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 barked the little Dalmatian dog. Fire, 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 called the people in the streets. Look at all the people. There's a fire. Then out from the big firehouse came the big fireman and his big fire engine with his big Dalmatian puppy dog running behind him. And out from the little firehouse came the little fireman with his little puppy dog running along behind him. Clang, clang, clang. Cling, 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 cling. Look at the little tiny fireman. And down the street, a couple of blocks, and down a street to the right, there was a great big house on fire. Oh my goodness. Oh no. When the big fireman got there, he said, "Ho, ho, what a fine, big, roaring fire." But when the little fireman got to the fire, he said, oh dear, that fire is too big for me. Oh dear. And then down the street, 2 blocks, 1, 2, and then a block to the left, oh, he saw a very little house on fire. I guess in the old days they didn't have smoke, but it's fire. So, cling, 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 cling. Off he went down the street to the little fire. And they all jumped out of the windows to the little fireman, who caught them in a little net. And there in the windows of the little house were 15 little ladies calling, "Help! Help! 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 Help!" At the big fire, there were 15 bigger ladies in the windows. And they all jumped out, and the big fireman caught them all in his big net. Help, fire! Oh, there did have smoke. Okay, there's some smoke back in it. The dog is helping with the net. When the big fire was all splashed out with water, and when the little fire was all splashed out with water, then the 2 firemen jumped in their fire engines and went home with their black and white Dalmatian puppy dogs running along behind them. Run, 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 run. The big fireman ate a great big mutton chop and a big dish of pink ice cream. Then he jumped into bed and went right to sleep. And the little fireman ate a very little mutton chop and a little tiny dish of pink ice cream. And then he jumped into bed and he went right to sleep. And the great big fireman dreamed a very little dream. And the little fireman dreamed a great big dream. Look, they're dreaming of putting out fires and ladies in the tree who need help and climbing up a ladder and giving the dog a bone. The end. How did you like that story? I thought it was kind of funny. Did we learn anything? I think we learned that there's all sorts of different people, right? And just one way to be different is some people are really big and some people are really small. But we all get to help out because, like in that story, the big fireman couldn't put out the little fire and the little fireman couldn't put out the big fire, but working together, they got everything done. I think that's the lesson. So thanks for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you again soon, okay? Bye-bye.